A promising title, The Global PV Market of Tomorrow. When we prepared this session, we took this title because I'd like to give you a trend, say, a summary of our view of these many news, of these many changes in the market which you hear every day. So I'll address 3 points. First is, what do we see in terms of installation this year, next year? And the big question is, can a dip be avoided? Second, where are prices going for the supply chain, from modules, cells, wafers, and poly? And the third point is politics. What can we expect from politics for solar? As Melinda mentioned, okay, I'll also address the two key questions. Okay, where will be the markets and which products will we see? A quick introduction of our company. Our focus is really to understand the supply-demand dynamics. When you know when the next oversupply or undersupply will appear, you know where the prices will be, you know where the margins will be, and you can prepare yourself to better overcome the situation and profit from the situation. So if you want to know about prices, about business models, about competitive analysis, please talk to me after the show. Okay. Installation market outlook in 2011 and 2012. Can a dip be avoided? This is our current view for installations this year. What you see is Germany, we still see a market for 7 gigawatts despite a rather weak first half. We see Italy at 5, US 2.3, 2.4, then the gigawatt markets, Japan, France. I think the most interesting news was that China is growing much faster than we expected earlier this year. So for this year, we expect 1,500. So overall, this ends up at 21.9 gigawatts. We have to admit there is a margin of error. Will it be 20? Will it be 22 or 23? This is the margin of error we have to live with. So installation forecast, and here I think what I'd like to show in this chart here is this chart which states it's from May. So it's a bit outdated, but it shows that we have, from the hard figures we see from the individual country analysis, a dip in the market. The dip is mainly due to reducing installations in Italy and Germany. However, that would be the first year that the solar market will decrease in terms of installations. And here again, we ask ourselves, is it possible? Are we already getting to this point? And this is why I'd like to develop this thought a little bit further. So, this chart, if you look at the table, at the bottom line, you see two figures, 20.5 gigawatts and the upside potential. So the 20.5 is what we get from the hard analysis by country. So it's a forecast, but what we feel again is, and you see in this line of 20.5, the current forecast for 2012. But we know that the politics are still ongoing in all of these countries. And that's why we believe and we see a momentum coming in which is much more positive to solar than 6 months ago. So we expect and we see upside potential still in China, Germany, Italy, Japan, and also the rest of the world. If you add this up, you get to 6.5 gigawatts. If you put the two figures together, you get to 27. This is not what we forecast today. It's an ongoing process. In the first, say, approach, you can, and please make your own assessment on it. I would say take 50% of the upside potential, and then this is what we see for today for 2012 installations. So our figure right now is 24 gigawatts. Where will this installation happen? This is a breakout by the major regions. So what you see and what I'd like to highlight here is the European share. The European market share is just below the black part of these bars. Black is then North America. So we have Germany, Italy, and then the rest of solar Europe. And what we see is that this share is decreasing. So from about 60% in 2011 to 30% in 2050. No surprise, we are aware about that, but that has an impact also on the business situation. The rest of the world. The rest of the world is a very interesting market for solar. There are around 200 nations outside the world. 14, 15 we consider right now as solar regions because they have installations of more than 100 or 200 megawatts per year. So this number of countries will increase. What we see today and what this chart shows is an estimate where the rest of the world installations will break out by continent finally. So the drivers here is, and we have around a total number of 8.6, so close to 9 gigawatts for 2014, is that we see Asia. This includes in this breakout India. We see also Europe and Middle East at more than 2 gigawatts, and then we have Australia, Africa, and the more, say, Middle and Southern Americas. Right. Okay, so we spoke about the installations. Next step is where are the prices going? We start looking at the module price. So this chart shows you the green bar is the price decline over the previous quarter. And what you see, so it starts in the first quarter 2009 when we had the financial crisis, minus 16%. If you go further the line, we are in 2011, and you see prices drop in the first quarter, and then you had again a very steep decline in the second quarter. So we expect as these prices are stabilizing, there will be some price decline, but not that hefty as in the first half. Prices, what we see and expect for the end of the year, silicon on spot around the $50, wafer around $2 for multi, cell 70 to 75 cents, US cents per watt, and modules here I take the euro number because this is today the main market. We are seeing the 80 euro cents, 85 euro cents from the top 10 players from China. We have seen the price decline in the recent quarters. What we also have to look is at the margin stack. So this is a picture for 2011. And I think there's no surprise, but the wafer cell and module business is under pressure. Interesting here, I think, is to say that all these guys, wafer cell and module are now in the same basket. There is still better margin on the downstream part and also on the poly part. If we look a bit further to pricing, and again, here we have to look first at the supply-demand dynamics. And we have seen that installations will grow from 22 to 30 gigawatt over the next 3 years. But capacities are far beyond. We are already talking about 70 gigawatt of module production capacity, so 70, which is a huge number and which leads to continuous pressure on price. So if you look at pricing, the approach is now rather simple because you can take a cost-plus approach. So we have the cost analysis done, silicon cost, non-silicon cost, what we see in the market and what we forecast for the market is given in the first line. So second quarter 2011, we had total cost of 1.07 US. A margin of 10% was possible, and then we end up in the price range of 120 US dollars. We expect the $1 per watt module next year. Not in January, but during the next year, probably end of the first half, so say latest in September.